Hello everyone, today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do roses using Pouncers. You can get different sizes, so you can get a large, a medium and a small, which I don't know where I've put it, so I can't really show you, but it's quite small. We're going to be using the medium one today. I'm going to be using Water Fairy tag, a sponge, a Donna Dewberry 1/4 inch, Superstar number 2, Mark Reed number 4, a Mark Reed number 2, Diamond Effects White and Chameleon Black Velvet, and if I have enough time I'm going to be using some liquid bling. Now what I'm going to do first of all, I'm just going to put like a bit of a background on. I've lost my water spray, which I would usually use when I'm sponging, but I'm just going to dip it into my water pot, load up some Chameleon crystal white, like a little bit. I'm going to put it down as a quick background. I just want like a bit of a shimmer at the background. Okay, so just going to do a quick one. I just want it like quite subtle, like a quick sheen of shimmer, like that. You can't really see it, but you can over here. I'm going to be using the medium one, so you can see the difference between medium and large. Now usually I'd spray onto the cake and spray onto a sponge and sort of like swipe up and down, but I'm just going to have to dip into my water pot as I have lost my spray. So I'll just pick up all the colours on the sponge like that. What you do then, you just press down, twist and pick up, so you get your blend of colours. This is a little bit too wet, but you can just wait for it to dry. So I'm just going to do a couple more. You can blend them in as much as you like, to be honest. I'm just going to pick up a little bit more. That one's a bit too dark, but it will look fine once I've put the sort of lines over it. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the one that's a little bit more dry, because that one's a bit wet, and I'm going to wait for it to dry because otherwise the black will just get like eaten up by it. I'm just going to load up my Superstar number 2 with Chameleon Black. Okay, so what you're going to do, you sort of, I'll start in the middle, so you go to thin to thick, so you press down and pull round, and you want to keep going around in like a circle. So you're going to just start from the gap, thin, press down, wriggle, thin, press, thin, thin, press, thin, thin, press, wriggle, thin, thin, press, thin. I'm going to keep going around. I'm just going to do this as a quick one because I'm not really happy with the way I've pressed the dauber down a bit too much, or the pouncer, whatever you like to call it. Okay, so that's sort of your basic rose there. I'm just going to do it on the other two as well. So you just go thin, press down, thin, thin, thick, thin, thin, thick, thin. Now what I say to people when I'm teaching them how to do this is sort of think of tiger stripes. Because I go from thin to thick to thin. And that's all you're doing, but you're just going around in a circle. Okay. And you don't want the edging to be like a perfect circle, because roses aren't a perfect circle. I'm just going to show you on this one as well. So thin, thick, thin, thin, thick, thin, thin, thick, thin. Keep going around in a circle. I love doing these roses. They're so quick and simple, and I find them like much more easier than like one stroke roses, because sometimes when you're one stroking on little kids it looks a bit too much. Now while these are still bold, they don't really overtake the face too much unless you use like a really big pouncer. Okay, so they're my 3 roses. Just going to wash that brush out and just cover up my finger marks there. Okay. I also forgot to pull out my snake tag, because that's what I'm going to be using to do the leaves. So I'm just going to load up my 1/4 inch brush. Pick up the darkest part, so you don't have to do an outline so much. I'm going to do wriggle, 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 pull out and wriggle back in. And just do 2 at the bottom, because if you watch my previous videos I like to do 2 roses on one side and 1 on the other. I just feel like it looks a bit more effective. So I'm just going to do the same on the other middle rows. Okay, and then 1 more on this side and 2 at the bottom here. So wriggle, 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 pull out. Like that. And just because I want this to be like a more bold sort of leaf, I'm just going to load up some black onto my mark reed number 2. Just going to put a line down the middle of the leaf. Follow those squiggly lines, flick out, and the same on the other side. I'm just rushing this video because I haven't got a lot of space on my recording on my phone. But basically just outlining all the leaves, just because this sort of design is quite bold, so to not outline the leaves it will look a bit, it's not going to have the sort of bold effect that I'm sort of looking for. And because there's quite a bit of black in the design, I usually go back in with my mark reed number 4, load up my white, and start off with a few dots coming out from the middle, like little clusters, all different sizes. Like that. You can even put some on the leaves. Just coming out from the middle. I love adding white dots because it just sort of brings the design out a bit more. It just brightens up a little bit more. Okay, you can leave it like this, or you can go back in with liquid bling, but the only bling that's working at the moment for me is my silver one. So I'm just going to sort of, what you can do, I'm going to show you different sort of ways. You can just sort of go over like a few of the lines that you have created with like the tiger stripe areas, especially like with if you use like a one stroke which has got like a dark colour in it, so it sort of loses the stripes. This will just make it stand out a bit more. I would only use the liquid bling on the roses. I would leave out the leaves, so that looks pretty cool like that. I'm just going to show you again on this one. Just go around in like your like the wriggly sort of technique that you was using for your tiger stripes. Okay, can you see how that just brings out the roses? You can just like outline the leaves. You can just go over the leaves in the same sort of shape and put a line down the middle. But just to keep the design sort of flowing, I'm just going to do the same to all of it. I just want to show you what the after sort of look is going to be like. I think this is like really nice if you're going out or anything really. Little girls like love it, adults love it. It's just perfect sort of design really. And it's quite quick, much more quicker than one stroke. And also you can just go back in and like, I'm going to use a bit of dark green, pale green tag. You can go back in and sort of just do like some of these swirly swirls acting as vines. I love adding these sort of swirls. I think it just like finishes off a design like that. You can add like some starburst, so just flick up. Oh, and I'm using a Mark Reed number 2 to do this. Just add a few in different areas. Like that. You can add some teardrops. I'm just going to show you how you can keep building off of this sort of design and the different sort of elements you can add. I'm using my Mark Reed number 4. Now I will be doing a video like sort of showing you where to place teardrops, but it's sort of anywhere you see like a gap and there's like a V shape, so or just like an open area. Oops. I've just smudged my liquid bling here. Just clearing it up a little bit. There you go. Never happened. I love adding teardrops to things like this because it sort of just brightens up a little bit. Especially when you're using like such a bold design. You just want something to be like a little bit more bright and just bring it out a little bit more. And you can sort of do this sort of thing going around the eye. Yeah, it can just be like your eye design, sort of what you can offer as eye design. I'll just do